But if I was looking to approach, how do I get my first sub-2 deal under contract? It's really going to be about pain. The reasons they go creative finance. They either want their price, which is exorbitant, like nobody's going to pay that, or they're in such pain that they don't have much other option. So when I'm qualifying a creative finance deal, I'm going to rule out three things first: cash, realtor, and keeping it. And the reason I do that is I want to aggressively disqualify easier, faster options so that by the time we get to the creative option, it's me providing a solution. They're asking me to buy their house. The conversation, the dynamic of the conversation shifts entirely. Now I'm helping somebody rather than just slinging offers. That's my style, though. Some people like to start with creative. I say don't do that. So the cash offer, if it's going to be below their loan balance, it's obviously a no. But guess who needs to say no? Not me. Who really needs to say no to that offer? Who needs to know that cash is off the table? The seller.
Yeah, the seller.
I already know that cash isn't going to work, but I have to let them realize that cash isn't going to work. This is like planting an idea so it's their idea. Oh, cash isn't going to work, right? And you can, while you're at stage one, rule out cash. You make the offer. You don't skip it. And while you're at that stage, that's when you also have the opportunity to do some scorched earth. And by scorched earth, I mean, listen, anybody else who brings you a cash offer that is, I don't know, more than $5,000 or $10,000 higher than mine, probably can't close. And they probably don't know what they're doing. We all use the same math. We all use the same calculators. It's all public record information. They have the same spreadsheet to me. If they're offering more, they're not in business. They can't make money with that. And the problem I've seen is people will make really high offers, which sound good to you, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, but then they wait until you're all packed up and ready to move the day or two before closing, and they renegotiate for a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 price drop, and you have little or no option at that point but to comply, or they just won't close. Meanwhile, you've already spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars preparing to move, putting a deposit down on your apartment or wherever you're going to go. Please don't let that happen to you. Please be aware that people will overprice their offer, not intending to follow through. And so if somebody does come back with a cash offer that's higher than mine, I would caution you. Mine is an honest offer, and I am ready and willing and able to close, me or my partners. Why are you going past the cash offer if you can't do that? You should be pitching that on every cash offer anyway, you guys. So in those conversations, cash, then comes what?
Realtor.
Thank you. So cash, realtor, and keeping it. We just went through cash. Guess what? The seller says no. I needed them to say no before I go to the next stage. I needed to disqualify cash. Not for me, I needed to disqualify it for them. Because when I talk about the realtor and keeping it in a creative finance offer, and I'm like, hey, your credit's going to stay on the line, what is the basis for me to say, hey, let me use your credit to buy this house? It's going to be, hey, look, you already told me the cash offer is not going to work. And we already know that anybody else's cash offer shouldn't be any higher than mine. So cash offer, if it's back on the table, I'll take that deal right now. I don't need your credit. I can go do a cash deal right now at that price. But I know it's not going to work. And I just want to remind you, that's where it's going to be. If you're okay to take a loss or whatever that's going to be, your life circumstances, that's clean, fast, and easy. And I would prefer that too. But they're going to go back to that. They're going to ask, isn't there a simpler option? And so you need to have done a good job disqualifying cash. And if you do a good job disqualifying cash, you may actually close more deals, more cash deals, and you can assign those and make faster cash. Creative is slow cash. So cash offer, realtor. I don't care if you plant the idea or if they have a reason already, but guess who? The seller. The seller needs to disqualify the realtor route. Maybe they've already been on the market 160 days and their realtor's about to fall out, right? At the 180-day mark, those realtor agreements almost always expire. So if they've already been on the market for 160 days or something like that, hey, you've already tried the realtor route. This isn't working. If it's not that situation, then how come you don't work with a realtor? Ask for the reason from them. I'm sure there's a way to do something there and strike a deal, but you want to help that person find the options. The realtor, the MLS, they don't want to do showings, they don't want to do walkthroughs, whatever their reason is, or they don't want to pay the fee. You can help people understand how much it costs to sell with a realtor. But you need them to come to the conclusion that realtor's not going to work. And third, cash, realtor, and come on, people. Cash,
Staying?
realtor, staying. Yeah,
The
keeping
seller?
it. Yeah,
Keeping.
just keeping it. staying in it. Well, or they don't even have to stay in it to keep it, right? They can turn it into a rental. That's usually where I go. So cash, realtor, and keeping it. So after the realtor doesn't work, it's like, all right, Mr. Seller, help me understand. That's my secret code. Help me understand. Help me understand. Why don't you just keep it, right? Why don't you could refinance this? You could put renters in here, right? Just a couple of repairs, and then you guys are good to have tenants move in, and then you can maintain the toilets yourself. And I plant that little seed, like, oh, maintenance, oh, dealing with renters, ooh. I want them to say no. But if they're going to say yes, they were going to say no to me later anyways. So how much time and headache am I saving when I go for the creative offer if they're just going to be like, you know what, I'll just put renters in it myself. Screw this. So I want to disqualify it early. Why don't you just keep it? Oh, I don't want to do a tenant. I have to sell it. Get the reason. That also gives you a secret unlock code to what's the pain? What is the pain they're facing? Because when you understand their real situation, now you can make a meaningful offer that helps them and works for you as a business person. Understand the pain points. And so, why doesn't cash work? Why doesn't the realtor work? And you're not going to keep it? Why not? This looks like a great rental property to me. I'm in the business of renting properties out. Why wouldn't you keep this? And they'll give you a reason.
Does it matter? I know that some people will say, well, is it single families that I should be focusing in on, or is it duplexes or quadplexes or even multifamilies to get that creative financing deal? Does it matter the size of the deal? It's
No,
more of the pain point, right?
it's about the pain. Actually, the bigger the deal, the more open there are to creative financing, what I've seen.
Ooh, are you guys writing this down? I hope you're taking notes. This stuff is gold.
The people with really big houses, really expensive houses, they're usually not in pain for cash. They're in pain for price. It's a pride issue with them. They bought in 2022 at the tippy top of the market and things have dropped or unstabilized. And so they've got a lot of equity, but it's still not worth what they wanted or maybe worth less than what they owe. It's just not where they want it to be. And they're all about that price. They don't want to take a loss in their mind, whether it's financial or otherwise. It's taking an L if you don't get the number you expected to get. And so that could be the pain point that you're solving for them. So again, cash, realtor, keeping it. You should be using that to close more cash deals and or run scorched earth so that other wholesalers don't have an in with the seller. You should be using that to make referrals on realtors. And guess who's going to give you more pocket listings as opportunities? Those realtors that you're referring. And you should be using it to aggressively disqualify their other option of keeping it and maybe referring them to a loan officer if they want to refi. I don't know. That might also, the keeping it might also open up the opportunity for innovation right there where you come in. I'll bring my rehab crew to your house. We'll fix it up and then we'll do a split of the proceeds. And once all three of those don't work, guess what? Instead of me facing you like this, once we've ruled those things out, I get to come around to your side of the table and put my arm around you and say, okay, now let's look and see what options are there. I can help you in this way and this way and this way. Here's how I can help you. You need to sell. We've already determined that. You want or you need to sell. You can't do this or this. Here's what I can offer. And now I'm just letting them know what I can do for them. That's how I got the property in Colorado. They paid me $200 a month for 2 years, you guys. The sellers paid me, and they gave me a $6,000 check at closing for insurance proceeds. They literally paid me to buy their house at a 3.625% interest rate. It was priced, it wouldn't sell for what was owed. They were going to take a loss financially. They were going to pay money out of pocket to have a realtor sell it. They already tried the market. It fell off of the MLS. So cash offer is not going to work because the balance is 213 and the cash offer is 165. Realtor's not going to work because they already tried it and it failed. Keeping is not going to work because they already moved an hour away and they don't want to manage a rental and they have another house payment. They have to sell. That's the pain points. But it's not going to cash flow. That's my problem. And so I let them know, here's what I can do for you. This is not going to cash flow. I like it 5 years from now, but I don't like it today. If you help me, I can help you. So I don't like making this offer. I told them, you're not going to like this, and neither do I. But if you paid me $200 a month for 2 years, that's enough time for me to break even until the renter pays enough that it's profitable. But that's the best I can do for you. They called me back 2 days later and said, we'll do the deal. And they paid. And if they didn't pay me, would I have died? No. I would have been okay. But I wanted to at least break even for the first 2 years and then start making profit by raising rents. But it was that cash, realtor keeping it, disqualify aggressively, and now you've got a deal in your pocket. It's just figuring out the how.
Super powerful, Caleb.
Where were we going with that? Oh,
Well, I think we're
oh
kind of
yeah,
trying.
that's how you get into those conversations, and that's how you can speak. And it's okay to not have the answer to some of the questions that they have, because when you go to the creative offer, you're like, listen, none of this other stuff's going to work, but I know a guy. Let's talk through what it's going to look like. What if I took over your payments and gave you some cash? What is it that you need to? So now I can start asking very invasive questions. They would be seen as invasive if I asked them before, but now that I'm on the same side of the table as the seller, I can say, so, all right, so what's your financial situation? Are you going to move to an apartment? What do you need to do if this happens? Because we already know you're not getting a whole cash offer for it. And the best we can do is take over the loan at the current balance. You're not walking away with cash in your pocket, or you're only walking away with XYZ cash. What do you need to pay off? What do you need to do? Let me understand your life situation. Now I can start building a solution for them that's tailor-made. Well, they're going to need moving expenses and a down or a deposit for an apartment complex because they're moving across town to follow their job. Cool, I can do that. 5 or 10,000 cash and finance any other equity that they've got and take over payments on the mortgage. That's the pitch. I mean, I can help you do A, B, and C. You focus on their outcomes and you put your offer in to show how you can help them reach their outcomes. And I'll tell you this, write this one down. If the seller is doing you a favor, you probably don't have a deal. What I mean by that is, if you are asking, please let me take over your house, please let me take over your payments, please give me seller finance. It would be so cool if I got seller finance deals. All my friends think seller finance and subto are so cool. I wish I could do one. Please help me. You're asking the seller to do you a favor rather than you bringing a solution to them. I don't think that's a deal. Those are the deals that fall apart right before close of escrow. And are you really going to take somebody to court on a lawsuit for specific performance when they signed a subto agreement with you and they really don't want to do the deal like that anymore? Probably not. I don't think a judge is going to look favorably upon that. So do a good job disqualifying it early and building a relationship and bringing a solution. And when you get into those conversations, it's okay to not have all the answers because you know a guy. You can book a call with my team anytime at creativetc.io. You can walk into our office, get a free call. We are here to help you. I started this business because nobody was there to guide me. That's my origin story. I had deals. I was trained on what to say to get a seller under contract. I said the right things and I found somebody with enough pain. And then when I went to take it to escrow to open a title, there was nobody there giving me moral, ethical guidance on how this is supposed to go, how to protect myself, how to protect the seller. I want things to be equitable. It should be fair, reasonable, safe. Nobody was there to tell me that stuff. That I was structuring a transaction that I wouldn't later be able to sell off to an owner occupant because I allowed a balloon date to be in there. I thought I was helping the seller. What I was doing was hamstringing myself so that I actually put the seller in a bad position downline because we were almost unable to fulfill the balloon obligations. Really tough stuff that nobody was there to help me with. And I was like, who? If not me, then who? So therefore, Creative TC exists. So it's okay to get in over your head a little bit because you have somewhere to turn. How's that for a pitch? I have people walk into our virtual office regularly and they're like, hey, I might have it. I don't know if this is a deal. Can you tell me, should I put this under contract? Should I make an offer? Is it okay? Sure, come on in, let's chat. Here's why this wouldn't be a deal yet, but you might be able to make it a deal if you negotiated this into it. Those conversations happen every day. I want you guys to feel comfortable getting into those conversations and being able to say, I don't know the answer to that. I'm here to provide a solution, but I know some experts. But I know a guy is the main thing I need you to take away. And that's my team. It's Creative TC.